Well, first of all, we have 14 offices around the country, which does go and monitor different parts of the country where they have access. But in the areas where we do not have access, actually, some of the people from civil society, even not a member of the civil society, normal person from the community, when they see some of those violence, they're calling us. They're calling me directly or calling my other colleagues within the region.
You know, I think the other really fundamental principle of human rights work is that you pay attention to the most marginalized, the most invisible, the most disempowered of society. They have to really have a good sense of what's happening in their country, where state action has not reached to ensure that women's rights are protected, respected, and fulfilled.
In 2010, the Commission entered with an agreement on a project-based level with the UN Women on monitoring places of detention and shelter homes, and specifically women in conflict with the law. And we realized through the study that we did and the monitoring we did in prisons is that there was a very big link between women getting into conflict with the law and passion killings or passion crimes that they are committing. So we realized that they have been suffering from either early marriages, from abuse within the family, from all forms of gender-based violence that have led them to commit crimes. So we decided to continue with our initiative to focus on monitoring through the whole justice system, and we have been able last year to produce the first report on what are the major problems that women and girls face in the chain of justice system in Palestine.
A well-functioning national human rights institution will be the eyes and ears of a country when it comes to human rights. And that monitoring function can be performed in many different ways depending on how an institution works and the particular challenges it faces. The complaints procedure itself can be a wonderful monitoring mechanism, particularly if you have a complaints procedure that is truly accessible.
In this 7 months, until 3,000 case we had, which is registered only by Human Rights Commission. This were all complaints. In majority of them, this is physical violence, beating and that. If sometimes with mediation, I support them, I help them, and I can solve their problem. And also sometimes when this woman is victim, I'm sending to shelters, and after that also find some defense lawyer to support, because a lot of women, they don't have money, and this is all without money.
You know, cases of continuing harassment is rampant. And even after conviction or even dismissal, for that matter, all the more that there are reprisals against women victims. And we cannot abandon our complainant for that. And we provide legal assistance. We even have a witness protection program to the very extent of a given serious human rights violation.
National institutions have a particular role to play, but quite often they'll be on the front line of a complaint of a human rights violation, and they'll need to have the capacity to assess what an individual needs and to be able to refer that person to get the sort of help that they may actually require. That could be even medical help, it could be psychological help, it could be a connection with social services or with lawyers.
So yes, I think being responsive doesn't necessarily mean that you are the one responding all the time, but that you know enough to know where you should refer that person to get an effective response. And I think that's what human rights institutions should be doing. They should be well networked, in fact, and not just refer on, but monitor the response.
I'll give you an example. Like there was a case of of a woman who was killed by her mother-in-law and husband. The neighbor called us, called our office late at night and said that so-and-so in our village killed the daughter-in-law and they are trying to throw the body in the river. So immediately our colleague called the chief of police of that province in Kunar and told them that you should go in that area and find out what is happening. We were able to transfer the body, and the commission paid the transportation of the body to Jalalabad, and from Jalalabad to Kabul to the forensic department to let the doctors see how she was killed. And then we were able to lobby a lot to arrest the mother-in-law and the husband.